Hi, and welcome to the Handsell with Ron Hogan and Dan Wilbur of Community Bookstore in Park Slope, Brooklyn. Dan, how long have you been with Community Bookstore?
Too long. I mean, they should have fired me the first week, I'm guessing. But I've been here about a year and a few months.
Okay. And you are also an author.
I am.
And I was really interested to see, your How Not to Read, it kind of grew out of a Tumblr that you had called Better Book Titles, but it really sort of went beyond the initial premise of the Tumblr and goes off in some interesting directions.
Yeah, I mean, the point of the Tumblr was to sum up all of literature so that nobody had to read anymore. And I felt like the pictures weren't doing enough. I needed to write a whole book telling readers who enjoyed reading how to not read via text. And the only way a true reader of novels and nonfiction the only way they would see it is if they read it in book form. So I wrote them a book to get them away from reading.
Cool. Well, the way that the Handsell works is that people who enjoy reading books send us lists of the books that they've read or some of the authors that they like, and my guest stars and I try to come up with books that they should read next. I've got a list here from Erica in New York City, and she likes a lot of women thriller and mystery writers, and the list that she has here includes Tana French, Gillian Flynn, Kate Atkinson, Sophie Hannah, Megan Abbott, and Jennifer McMahon. And she says that these are people who, as soon as they have a new book out, she's right there buying them, and she wants to know who else she should be reading like that. So what did you come up with, Dan?
I just came up with, she should read, A Time Out in New York, or, just get out more. You just got to stop reading books like that and just, I don't know, take a class of some kind, meet somebody, some new friends. Perhaps your soulmate is out there. Maybe you want to try some speed dating. Just stop reading. But if you do have to read, if you really, I'm saying, Time Out New York, they list fun stuff to do. A lot of single people out there wanting to meet other people and not just read mystery novels.
But if she really has to read a book.
If she really has to read a book, there's a bit of a stretch. But The People Who Eat Darkness, or just People Who Eat Darkness, is a nonfiction true crime about a British flight attendant who leaves her job and, in order to pay off debt, moves to Tokyo, Japan to become what is it called? It's called a hostess, which is borderline prostitution. And by page 20, she's disappeared, and you have no idea what's happened to her. And it follows the police investigation, and it follows her growing up, and it follows why she went there in the first place. And I think she's in her mid-20s when she disappears, and it's not only creepy and mysterious and weird, and about weird sexual power dynamics and things, all the things that make a good mystery taut, I guess. It's all in here, but it's also, I think she said, you told me earlier that she liked coming-of-age themes.
Yes. And
you basically see all of this girl's growing up and her parents and things that she's learning about love, even in Tokyo, with a man that she's seeing while she's being a hostess, and all coming to this weird, tragic conclusion. And then the second half of the book is all about how messed up the Japanese justice system is. So a little bit of that youth, what's going on, what should I do with my life, and it has a horrible finish for this one girl, but actually redeeming stuff about family and the politics of Japan versus Great Britain and what they have in common as far as what to do in the face of devastation and some weird, messed up crimes.
Yeah,
So it is it reads like a crime novel.
Yeah, in fact, I know some true crime fans who have said that once they started picking that up, it was just so creepy and unsettling that they couldn't put it down. So that's another great recommendation for this.
Terrifying.
Yeah. So the book that I picked is it's by a great writer who's been around for a while called Sara Gran. And it's only in the last couple of years that she switched over to what are explicitly mystery-type books. She started a new series about a private investigator called Claire DeWitt. The first one came out a couple of years ago. It's called Claire DeWitt and the City of the Dead. And she's a very unusual detective in that her approach to detective work is very sort of philosophical, almost existential. It's like the crimes themselves are sort of almost besides the point. It's this weird sort of like ferreting out of the existential truth, which will make nobody happy, but the truth is there anyway. And it vacillates between the current cases that she's working on and sort of going back into how she got sucked into this type of detective work based on this weird sort of like 50s existential manual called Detection by a French detective, and these sort of like weird mysteries at the core of her adolescent life that, from what I've seen in the second book, Claire DeWitt and the Bohemian Highway, which is coming out in 2013, are extending into a further definition of her character. And she's really like one of the most interesting new detectives that I've seen in a long time. And I've been a big fan of Sarah's work for a long time as well. And so it's really been interesting to see this series develop.
I'm sold.
Cool.
That was much more on point than mine, I think.
But both of these books are really cool, or sound really cool. This is the second or third recommendation I've gotten about People Who Eat Darkness, so I really need to buckle down on that. And Erica, I hope these recommendations worked for you. And for those of you who would like to get your own recommendations, if you go to thehandsell.com/ask and you tell me about 3 to 5 books that you like, I will see if I can round up a guest star, and together, an author or an independent bookseller and I will see what we can come up with for you to read next. So, from here at Community Bookstore in Park Slope, this is Dan Wilbur, and I'm Ron Hogan, and thanks for watching.